Time now for the Nick Hart Show, our weekly chat with the head coach of the Gibson Southern Titans, Nick Hart. The show is presented by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters and brought to you by A&B Contracting, LLC, AgriGold, Best One Tire, Chips, SellMyTees.com, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Daylight Land Management, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Duke Energy, Elite Insulation, Emerson Cattle Company, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Foster Construction, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Snap-on Tools, Grant Rydens, Hilliard Lyons, Ignite Heating and Air, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, Julia's School of Dance, Kissel Farms Incorporated, L&R Off-Road of Owensville, MyTech Systems, Pegram Concrete LLC, Princeton Auto Park, Pro Rehab, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Reinbrecht Homes, Right to Bear Arms, Rogers Bit Service LLC, Sandy's Pizza, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, South Gibson Grain, Sin Energy Partners LLC, Trapping and Removal of Animal Pest, 10 Barge Seed, TYFL, Vertical Tile Incorporated, Hobb Range Hood Company, Ziliac Enterprises, Beatles Towing, First Bank of Princeton, Johnson Commercial Mowing, Make Your Mark, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Martin's Auto Service, Kathy Solman Photography, Scheller's Carriage Inn, United Fidelity Bank, and by Wabash Valley College. The Nick Hart Show, presented by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, starts now on 89.1 The Bash.
Welcome to the Nick Hart Show. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me is head coach of the Gibson Southern Titans, Nick Hart. And Coach, good start for the Titans this past Friday night as your ball club defeated Forest Park 48-0 to start the season 1-0 overall and in the PAC. So let's take a look at the team and individual stats from the season opener. Starting off here, first of all, on total offense, your Gibson Southern Titans had 409 yards of offense, while Forest Park had 55, and that's something that we're going to talk about anyway. Defense, 55 yards total for the night for Forest Park.
Yeah, and I think probably half of that was late, so I thought our defense was phenomenal on Friday.
Then looking at the passing yardage, the Titans had 242 yards of passing, while Forest Park had 32. Rushing, the Titans amassed 167 yards of rushing to 23 for Forest Park. Penalties, this was something I noted in the game. Very few penalties were called throughout the ball game, and it was a clean game, and that was a plus. There were 3 penalties on the Titans for 20 yards and 2 penalties for 10 yards on Forest Park. Turnovers, the Titans had the 1 turnover, second play of the ball game, an interception, and then Forest Park had 4 turnovers. So your defense, again, we're talking about the defense. And I know, you think back to that Evansville Media Day, I think it was Pete Swanson, you were telling Pete, we don't care about defense. We don't need no stinking defense. And the defense really, in my opinion, stole the trophy that night. I mean, they were just fantastic. Yeah,
they really were. And then, in the turnovers, that doesn't account for the block punt. And then, they had a bad snap on the punt, where we were able to tackle them deep in territory. So you add those on, and it's really 6 turnovers, that our defense caused. So just a phenomenal night by them.
Well, and of course, one other stat that sticks out to me here throughout this ball game, you didn't punt. I mean, this isn't the philosophy that was born, I think, somewhere down in maybe Texas or something, where the guy says, "Don't ever punt." This was just the fact that your team didn't need to punt.
Yeah, and that's always great. I would like to. Bryce did a good job on those field goals. We'd like to not kick field goals, but those are better than punts.
Yeah, but I have fun with field goals.
So I don't. No, it's always a great night when you don't have to put the punt team out there. And again, I thought defensively we're much better than offensively, but it does say something when, with the running clock, you had 409 yards or whatever it was of offense, and you didn't have to punt. You're still doing some things pretty well.
Now looking at some of the individual statistics for the ball game, Brady Allen getting his first start with the varsity was 11 for 18, 242 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. 11 for 18 is a phenomenal start, especially for a young man that was 14 years old during the game, and when the clock struck midnight, he turned 15.
Yeah, I thought he played really well. He'd like to have that first one back, I'm sure, but he played really well.
Well, the guy was open.
He was. I think the thing that I really thought about him getting in live game stuff for the first time is he did a great job of taking care of the football. Sometimes when he got a little pressure or guys were covered, he threw the ball away and didn't really force it in there and did. I thought he played very, very well for his first time out.
All right, now looking at the rushing attack for the Titans, Mitchell Spindler leads the way with 13 carries for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. Owen Bryant comes in the second half, and I'd swear you guys just said run the same play over and over, and then, okay, let's go to the right with it, let's go to the left with Owen Bryant carried the football. Out of those 9 times, I think 7 straight for 36 yards. The young man had to be tired, and he only played in the second half.
Yeah, Owen's a good young back, and he got on that drive got to play behind the varsity offensive line on their last drive, and did a great job. And our offensive line did a great job on that drive. As we were up enough, we weren't going to throw it and just run the football, and I thought we did a great job on that drive.
Well, and Ben Butler had 4 carries for 28 yards. Is it Luttrell?
Luttrell.
Ben Luttrell had 5 carries for 23 yards. Nathan Bowes had 2 carries for 15 yards. Brady Allen had 1 carry for 2 yards, and Seth DeLong had 1 carry for 0 yards. Looking at the receiving stats, 5 different receivers caught passes from the freshman quarterback. Dawson Witt leading the way here with 3 receptions for 88 yards and 1 touchdown. Andrew Smith had 2 receptions for 69 yards. Ben Butler had 3 receptions for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I guarantee you he wanted a pair of sunglasses on one of those.
Yeah, he, we got him wide open. Brady made a great read and just got it. That's why you don't build your field east-west. But got back looking in the sun, and it was a tough one.
Well, and Adam May had 2 receptions for 22 yards, and I tell you what, the young man went up and got the football.
Yeah.
That was outstanding.
Yeah, Adam does a great job and really does a good job going and fighting for the football.
And Seth DeLong had 1 reception for 17 yards and a touchdown. And the thing is, it's only 17 yards in the stat book, but he ran about 57 yards because he went from about 8 yards outside of the south hash and ran clear back across the grain to score at the pylon on the east side or the north side of the field.
Not exactly the way we drew it up, but
it worked.
But it worked, and Seth did a great job of continuing to work across, and we had some great blocks from the other receivers on the other side of the field that was able to spring them loose for a touchdown.
All right, so now let's slide right on over to the other side, the defensive side of the football, where, again, a phenomenal first ball game. Especially, yes, there's several starters back on that side of the football, but yet probably, half the 11, so five or so are new out there on as far as being the first teamers. Garrett Martin led the way with 6 solo, 2 assists, and a tackle for loss, and had a sack. Lucas Ploss had 5 solo, 2 assists, 2 tackles for loss. Jacob Fireline had 3 solo, 5 assists, and a tackle for loss. Colton Stefanich had 3 solo and 2 assists. Caleb Sellers had 3 solo and an assist. And Ashby Henning, got to get one of those linemen in there. He had 3 solo on the evening. But here's the key. I mean, when I look back at Garrett Martin, a defining play. The kid caught the ball, literally caught the ball for Forest Park, and he came in, and from the backside could have cut him right in half, and the kid hung onto the football. Mm-hmm. It was a heck of a hit and stopped it right there. And then Lucas Ploss, of course, not only on defense, but on the special teams, getting his big paw out there in order to get that first block punt.
Yeah, I thought our defense was great. Those guys you mentioned had great nights. And I think the big takeaway is, I don't think they crossed midfield until we subbed, and then all the turnovers, 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and then, the Lucas's block punt, big momentum shifts, and I thought, those interceptions really helped kind of put the game away. I think it was, 10-0, and Andrew got his pick, and then it was 17-0, and Fireline got his pick off the deflection and got us down on a short field. So those were huge plays to really kind of get us going and help put them away.
All right, Coach. Well, let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, we will get your overall thoughts from Game 1 concerning the offense, defense, and special teams. But right now, we need to thank the folks that make the Nick Hart Show possible on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by Ignite Heating and Air, Hilliard Lyons, Snap-on Tools Grant Rydens, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Emerson Cattle Company, Elite Insulation, Duke Energy, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Daylight Land Management, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Chips, SellMyTees.com, Best One Tire, AgriGold, and by A&B Contracting LLC. You love sports. You're your team's ultimate fan. Why not turn that passion into the ultimate career? Enroll now in the brand new Sports Marketing and Media program at Wabash Valley College. Learn how to use digital video and other media to add to the fan experience, how to engage fans on social media, and how to create excitement by hosting events and promotions. Get off the sidelines and into the game. Find out more about the WVC Sports Marketing and Media program online at www.iecc.edu or by phone at 618-262-8641. Fall classes begin August 18th.
Thank you for listening to 89.1 The Bash and the Nick Hart Show. All right, Coach, let's start with your thoughts. First off, with the offense from Week 1 against Forest Park.
Well, I thought once we settled down a little bit, we played really well on the offensive side. Early we obviously had the interception, but, we missed some guys in the run game early. And I think part of that was jitters and having a lot of young guys on the offensive line. And two, they were kind of jumping in and out of some different stuff. And I think once we kind of seen everything and settled down a little bit, we really started executing at a high level throughout the night. And we threw the ball really efficiently, ran the ball. I'd like us to run the ball a little bit better than what we did. But, again, at times we were running against a loaded box. And, with it being Week 1, we wanted to make sure we, got the run game going a little bit. So it was a little tough sledding in there, but I think for the most part, especially after the first 2 drives, we did a great job of cleaning things up and executing it at a good level.
All right, so let's go over to the defensive side where, again, as we mentioned earlier in the earlier segment, 55 yards was the total that Forest Park had for the entire night. And I tell you what, when you look at it, yes, Forest Park lost 48-0, but that's not a bad small school football team right there. They brought some beef at you as the running backs.
Yeah, I thought their running backs were really tough, and I think our defense has a chance to be really special, and I think they showed that on Friday night because we played well, with our front 7 and our back 7, against the run and the pass, and a lot of times, you might be strong against the run, but you're struggling to cover the pass, or vice versa. And I think this defense is pretty complete in that we, have the guys that stop the run and guys that cover the pass. And we'll face some challenges as we get into the schedule here. But very pleased with where we're at right now on defense. We found some things on film that need corrected and fixed, little things, technique and scheme-wise and stuff. But overall, I think the defense gets an A+, for their game on Friday night.
Well, and I tell you what, the group as a whole, Andrew Smith coming up with the 2 picks, Bo Lamy getting a pick. Your secondary did a fantastic job against the pass, but the group out of your defense, whether you're talking line, linebackers, or DBs, I would have to give it to your defensive line for the havoc that they created on Friday night with Noah Singer up there, Ashby Henning, and I can't remember the third starter, the guy. I think
Logan Falkwer.
Yes, Logan Falkwer, who I'm used to seeing as a running back last year coming in the second half of ball games. Logan getting in there. Boy, I tell you what, they just got after it. Number 77, what's
Blake Stuckey.
Blake Stuckey. Yep. Blake was in quite a bit there too, rotating in and out. That defensive line did a phenomenal job.
They really did. I thought that was probably our best group. on the night. I thought they did a fantastic job, and continue. They can continue to improve. I think there's a lot of room for growth with that group because there are a lot of young guys, inexperienced guys on that front, and I think the one thing I was the most pleased about on defense is, man, we got a lot of hats to the football. I thought our pursuit was very, very good. And that's something we've really preached. You always preach, but it's been a big emphasis for us this year from day one, and our guys did a fantastic job of getting the football on Friday.
All right, so let's go to the third and final phase. Let's talk about special teams.
I thought special teams were great. We made all of our extra points, made both of our field goals. Don't really like kicking field goals, but when we have to do it, it's good that it goes through. And kickoff coverage was fantastic, for most of the night. And, get a punt block, which is huge. So I thought our special teams was really good on Friday. It's something that we put a big emphasis on and spend a lot of time on. It's great to see it, come out and have success on a Friday night.
All right, well, Coach, we need to thank some of the supporters of the Nick Hart Show, and when we come back, we will take a look around the Pocket Athletic Conference to wrap up the opening week of the 2018 season and get prepared for week number 2. As you are listening to the Nick Hart Show on 89.1, The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by South Gibson Grain, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Sandy's Pizza, Rogers Bit Service LLC, Right to Bear Arms, Reinbrecht Homes, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Pro Rehab, Princeton Auto Park, Pegram Concrete LLC, MyTech Systems, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, Eleanor Off-Road of Owensville, Kissel Farms Incorporated, and by Julia's School of Dance. The Early Childhood Education Program at Wabash Valley College teaches students up-to-date teaching techniques for kids ages 0 through 8, and it prepares them for a wide range of careers. We offer hands-on training with certified facilitators who model teaching and encourage each and every student to learn to their potential as an educator. Come prepare for a career where you can change lives. For more information about the Early Childhood Program, contact WVC today at 618-262-8641 or visit www.iecc.edu/WVC.
Welcome back to the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash. I am Bob Bowser, and joining me is head coach of the Titans, Nick Hart. And, Coach, let's talk the Pocket Athletic Conference, taking a look at the scores from this past weekend. Of course, your Titans defeated Forest Park 48-0 in conference play. Heritage Hills defeated Mount Vernon out of the Big 8 Conference 45-7, a big victory right there for Heritage Hills to start it out.
Yeah, a big win, and I know they're expecting big things this year, and they're a great program, and so I think they're going to be a very tough team throughout the season.
And then looking at North Posey, South Spencer, again a tight ball game, 2-possession game as it turns out. North Posey 39, South Spencer 28. South Spencer, of course, we're going to talk about much later here in the show. But again, this was a ball game that I think we both looked at as going to be kind of interesting to see. New players coming in to North Posey with Coach Shank, a new coach coming in to South Spencer with a new system.
Yeah, it really was a good game, kind of back and forth early. In the third quarter, North Posey was able to pull away and get a little bit of separation. But it was an exciting game to watch, a lot of big plays, a lot of offense as we were scouting that game. So I think both programs will get a lot better as the season goes on. As you kind of talked about the newness, new coach, a lot of new players at North Posey. They're both good football teams right now, and I think they'll both continue to get a lot better as the season goes on.
Well, and then Perry Central and Tell City went overtime, scoreless in 4 quarters of play, had to go overtime. Perry Central wins 6-0 over Tell City.
Yeah, a lot of good defense there in that one. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen.
I've had it happen, actually.
Okay.
Red Hill beat me at home the year we went to the playoffs in 2004. Went overtime 0-0 and lost 6-0.
So, I know Tell City's got a new coach. Would have not only liked to see them get a win for the conference there, but, also for, their program with a new head coach.
Well, and of course, the thing is, too, I think this next week, and we'll talk about it a little later on, but Perry Central now plays another Pocket Athletic Conference team in Forest Park. And this Forest Park team's got to be sitting there saying, you know what? We did enough things right, and we can fix some things that maybe on Friday night they get a W.
Yeah, I think they got a shot. Absolutely.
And then, of course, Southridge, the defending Class 2A state champions, defeated Linton 35-7. A ball game that we kind of expected to be a good. It's always been a good opening week number 1 ball game, and Southridge kind of took control and ran away with it 35-7.
It was a really impressive win. You know, I know Linton was state ranked coming in. If you can beat a ranked team 35-7, it says a lot about your football team.
Well, and then on Saturday, the only game on Saturday in the conference was Pike Central. They took on Lighthouse East, wherever that may be. And Lighthouse East come away with the victory, 34-22. So again, with Pike Central, looks like they can put some points on the board, but got to be able to shut some people down at times.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I know they have a new head coach as well, so I don't know a whole lot about what they're doing. I don't know anything about Lighthouse East, but
is it in the state of Indiana?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in Indy, but I don't know anything about them. So would have liked to see them, get off to a good start there.
All right, so let's take a look at week number 2. Starting off, we talked about it earlier, Forest Park at Perry Central. That'll be a 6:30 p.m. ball game. So Forest Park's got to go on the road to Perry Central, an opportunity potentially there to get a Pocket Athletic Conference victory.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Forest Park's young. I think they're going to get a lot better. I've seen them get a lot better from where they started in their scrimmage, a week ago to playing us on Friday night. I thought they improved a lot through the course of those 2 Friday nights, and I expect them to take another step forward coming up this Friday night. I predict somebody will score in regulation, though.
Oh, I predict that too, because I tell you what, I was really impressed not only with the running backs that they brought out there. They were not little skinny guys. I mean, these were big bruisers that could run a little bit, especially, was it May? Day. Day was his name, double D. But the quarterback, Berg, he was 50% on his passes against your defense that played very, very well.
Yeah.
And there's things that happen there. Not only did he throw the ball in the right place, but then they also caught it. And one of those catches was as they were getting cut off at the waist.
Yeah. I think they have a lot of bright spots, and they'll continue to get a lot better as they go on.
And, of course, Jasper is at Southridge. I know Jasper went up against Memorial. And Memorial showed exactly why they were the Class 3A state champs last year. With a lot coming back, Memorial took Jasper out to the woodshed a little bit in that ball game. And Southridge coming off a big victory. Here's another rivalry game right there.
Yeah, it's a huge rivalry game, and it's kind of gone back and forth. It seems that the past couple years, and Jasper will be looking to rebound, and Southridge obviously trying to keep their momentum rolling from what they did at the end of last year, and also week 1.
All right, and then Mount Vernon at North Posey, and I tell you, North Posey's got to be feeling pretty good about themselves, starting out week 1 with a victory, getting points up there on the board. Mount Vernon's coming in after a tough loss at Heritage Hills. I kind of like North Posey in this ball game.
Yeah, I think that they have a chance to get a good win for the conference again, and have the PAC go 2-0 against Mount Vernon. North Posey looked really good on film. I don't know much about what Mount Vernon's got, but they've kind of owned that rivalry over the past couple of years, and I think they got a good chance to keep it going on Friday.
And then Pike Central is at Tecumseh. I don't know personally anything about Tecumseh, but Pike Central, it's a ball club. They're going to come out and compete.
Yeah, they always do. And again, I'm with you. I don't know much about what Tecumseh has this year. I don't know what they did last Friday night. But, hopefully, Pike Central can bounce back from last week and get a W for the conference. And
then Tell City is at Heritage Hills in conference play. Heritage Hills being at home, seem like they're on the right track right now.
Yeah, they seem to be playing really good football and going to look to keep it rolling on Friday.
All right, Coach. Well, there's one more segment to go because there's one game that we did not talk about, which means it's time to get the listeners ready for Friday night as your team prepares to take on South Spencer in a Pocket Athletic Conference matchup. But first, let's thank some of the underwriters for the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is brought to you by Sun Energy Partners, LLC. trapping and removal of animal pests, 10 Barge Seed, TYFL, Vertical Tile Incorporated, Hobb Range Hood Company, Ziliak Enterprises, Beatles Towing, First Bank of Princeton, Johnson Commercial Mowing, Make Your Mark, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Martin's Auto Service, Kathy Salman Photography, Scheller's Carriage Inn, and by United Fidelity Bank. Looking for a career in the entertainment business? A career that allows you to work with the people behind the scenes to take a creative idea and turn it into a successful project that allows you the chance to use traditional and new digital media formats? Check out the all-new Entertainment Business Certificate program at Wabash Valley College. Become a professional sales associate, broadcast marketing consultant, a digital media manager, or more. Find out more about the new Entertainment Business Certificate option at WVC today. Log on to www.iecc.edu or call 618-262-8641.
Welcome back to the Nick Hart Show right here on 89.1 The Bash, or you may be using the free app to access the show on your cell phone. So, Coach, week number 2, your Titans will travel to South Spencer to take on the Rebels. And we will have all the action live on 89.1 The Bash with pregame at 6:45 p.m. South Spencer will enter this contest with a record of 0-1 overall and in conference play. What do you expect to see from South Spencer on the offensive side of the football?
Well, they do quite a bit of stuff. I think Coach Edge, I know Coach Edge is an offensive guy and has always had very potent offenses when he was at Owensboro Catholic, where he went to a handful of state championship games. So, they do quite a bit of stuff, very sound, both offensively and defensively they're sound. But, on offense, they're based in the spread, doubles and trips. They'll play with the tight end some, play with 4 wide some. He ran a lot of formations against North Posey. Some 2-back gun with the tight end, kind of like a pro eye set, but out of the shotgun. And then also they even did some like a double tight 2-back pistol stuff against North Posey. So they got sophomore quarterback. I thought he played really well on Friday night. Does a good job of distributing the football. And they got some big bruising type of running backs that do a really good job of getting downhill in the run game. So, we got to be ready. I know Coach Edge is a tempo guy. Defensively, we got to be ready for their tempo attack. And again, recognizing formation as they ran a lot of formations on Friday night. And, they're really good in their screen game. So we got to be disciplined, with our rush, in the screen game and stuff as well. So they do quite a bit of stuff. They do it really well, and I think it's a really nice scheme because he gives you a bunch of different looks, but it's not really different for what he's doing, with his kids and puts his kids in really good, positions. So, I think, it's going to be when we think our defense is really good, and I think they're going to get a really good test on Friday night.
All right, so now let's go over to the other side, and you keep talking about the tempo. So obviously in their practices, they're used to seeing tempo. They're used to going against tempo, the kind of tempo that you want to bring to the table. What is their defense going to do to try to slow you down?
Well, they're a 4-2-5 defense, so we'll see 4 down and 2 linebackers in the box, and they like to play cover 4 and some man stuff behind it. They're pretty base in what they do on defense, but I think very sound in what they do. And, to me, that's a sign of a good defense. They're sound in everything they do. North Posey hit them with some of their misdirection stuff that we've seen North Posey and Coach Shank do over the years. It wasn't a great look for us on tape for what we're going to see, but we were able to, get a decent idea of where guys are going to be and stuff. And, I really like their linebackers. I think they play downhill. They run through windows and really do a good job. So, I think, they really, I thought, limited North Posey on some drives. North Posey hit some big plays on them, and were able to, obviously, pull away and score a good deal of points. But I thought South Spencer did a good job of limiting drives, and they'll continue to get better, both offensively and defensively. I think, the old coaching adage is when the biggest jump you can make is from week 1 to week 2. That's probably even more amplified whenever you have a new head coach, because it's the first time you get Friday Night Lights tape and you can coach off that tape. So I expect them to come out and play very, very well on Friday night on both sides of the ball.
All right, so let's go to special teams now. What did you see out of their kicking game?
Well, I thought their returners in the punt game were really good and made some good plays. So we've got to be very disciplined in our coverage on the punt team. Kickoff, they do a lot of pooch kicks type of stuff, kick it short and let their defense go down and cover. And they did a pretty good job of keeping, without a great kicker, without and doing the pooch kicks and not kicking deep. They did a great job of keeping North Posey, in between the 30 and 35 yard line for starting their drives. Punter's really solid. And again, when you face a well-coached team, you expect them to be very sound in all three phases of the game, and South Spencer definitely is.
All right, Coach. Well, we're running out of time here. Is there anything else that you have for this week's show?
No, just a great start to week one, and we're looking forward to a great week of practice and getting ready to head to South Spencer on Friday night.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck Friday night, as we'll see you after the game on the post-game show, and best of luck to the players. We would like to thank all of you for joining us here on 89.1 The Bash for the Nick Hart Show, and be sure to catch us each week at 7 p.m. on Tuesday nights for your look inside Gibson Southern Titans football. Before we sign off, though, we would like to thank all of the supporters of the Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash.
The Nick Hart Show is a special sports presentation of 89.1 The Bash, made possible by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters and these sponsors: Ziliak Enterprises, Hobb Range Hood Company, Vertical Tile Incorporated, TYFL, 10 Barge Steve, Trapping and Removal of Animal Pest, Sin Energy Partners LLC, South Gibson Grain, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Sandy's Pizza, Rogers Bit Service LLC, Right to Bear Arms, Reinbrecht Homes, Progressive Health Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Associates, Pro Rehab, Princeton Auto Park, Pegram Concrete LLC, MyTech Systems, L&R Off-Road of Owensville, Kissel Farms Incorporated, Julia's School of Dance, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, in loving memory of Zach Bailey, Ignite Heating and Air, Hilliard Lyons, Snap-on Tools, Grant Rydens, Gerald and Trudy Bledsoe, Foster Construction, Fort Branch Dairy Queen, Emerson Cattle Company, Elite Insulation, Duke Energy, Du Bois County Garage Doors Incorporated, Daylight Land Management, Cox Family Eye Care PC, Chips, SellMyTrees.com, Best One Tire, Agrigold, A&B Contracting LLC, United Fidelity Bank, Scheller's Carriage Inn, Kathy Solomon Photography, Martin's Auto Service, Mayflower Gardens and Gifts, Make Your Mark, Johnson Commercial Mowing, First Bank of Princeton, Beatles Towing, and by Wabash Valley College. The Gibson Southern Titans play here all season long on 89.1 The Bash.